has been started in a while. Hello and welcome to a new cars video. Today we will be servicing this latest purchase of ours, which is of mine, which is a Sandero Stepway 2013. So we'll allow the engine to warm up for a bit and then circulate all the oil around, and then we will carry on with changing all the oil and filters. So if you're interested of how to service a Dacia Sandero Stepway or any similar Renault engine, which is a 0.9 TCE engine, join me. So here we are. As usual, we can't find the actual tools to do the job, so we're gonna use whatever we can find. We'll start with the smallest. We've got a Bosch oil filter, I presume, and an O-ring. Next, we didn't go too wild about a pollen filter. It doesn't have to be an amazing branding, but this has got the inbuilt carbon, whatever they do nowadays, I think. This is the kind of pollen filter I use for my own car as well. Moving over to the air filter, we chose to go for a Bosch one again. Looks good enough. Has it got a date? Made in Bulgaria. Has it got a date on it? No, it doesn't. And last but not the least, we've got our oil, which is ELF 5W40. Is that what I've ordered? I think so. Can't remember now. I'll quickly compare it to make sure it is what we need, but I think that's what it was. And that's it. And I can't actually remember on top of my head how much I've paid for all this, but I think it was roughly, I'll attach it to the screen anyway. I can't remember, 70-80 pounds for all of these. Not too shabby, I would say. So the car is currently warming up a bit. So whilst the car is warming up a bit, we can proceed with moving it around my drive and pop it on some axle stands, so then we can move over to these little fellas. And after a quick comparison, make sure I bought the right oil. Petrol and diesel, ELF Evolution SXR 5W40 ACEA A3B4, and we've purchased ELF Evolution 900 SXR 5W40, and then ACEA A3B4 sorted. There we go, nice and secure. Leaving the jack stand as a safety extra precaution. Lovely sit-down axle stands. And now, given that the engine is nice and very warm, we can just loosen these up a bit. Oh, actually, I was going to show you something. So, if you would have watched my last episode, cleaning all the mold inside this car, you would have noticed that there was significant amounts of water on the passenger side. So, I mean, that could have easily meant that this car was a good indication that this car could have been driven through water. So a few easy steps to check, or to outrule that, is first to check the air filter. Make sure there's no traces of water in there. I mean, this one is dirty, but it's dry. Not that I could feel through my gloves, but I have checked it previously. So you firstly check the air filter. As you can see here, through these fins, this has never had any water in it, because obviously when a car drives through water, the first place the water goes in is through the air pipes and into the air filter, which in here thankfully is not the case. Now let's say the car drove through water and made it safe to the other side, but water got into the engine. So the first sign of water getting into the engine is obviously an increased volume into the oil pan. So you'd have more oil which is mixed with water. So obviously on this dip you should see a high level of oil, which here you clearly can't see. The other, well, the last one, the third indication that the oil would be mixed with water would be the color of the oil. It wouldn't be nice and black as it is there. It will have a mushy look, something like you can see here, if you can see what I mean, that grey gunky stuff, you can see it better there. Now this is what our oil should look like when mixed with water. I will drain it into my open pan so we can clearly see the oil. What is visible here, what's possible to see here, is the fact that this car has been driving short distances. This is condense. This is what condense looks on a car that isn't doing a lot of mileage. So I am about 101% confident that this car's engine has been free from any water going inside it. So I'm very confident with proceeding to drain the old oil. Oh, I first need to remove the tray underneath, so let's do that. So we've got a couple 10mm bolt holding the under tray. So this under tray, oh gosh, it's got way more than two. This under tray should have all these bolts in place because it's previously been serviced by a dealership only. What's happening there? A bolt that's just spinning round. You always get the odd one. Let's find a way of persuading it to come out. There we are. This is what the engine under tray looks like. Nice and dry. I'm pleased about that. And also this is what the engine looks like on the underneath, which isn't too bad. I can't see any oil leaks or anything like it. Now, in order to drain the old oil, I hope you can see, we've got this square socket. It's a 4mm one, which I have purchased purposely for this job. And now all I gotta do is find it. Great, isn't it? Now let's see how tight this sump plug is. I can already tell it's got the new washer around it, which is always a good sign. Which way? That's the tightening. There we are. It wasn't tight at all. So whoever serviced this car last did a good job of it. Brilliant. Now, is the sump plug magnetic? There's no magnet there. So I hope you can see the color of this lovely oil. There's no chocolate here. It should be loads of chocolate if this car would have been sunk underwater. Well, engine in particular. So I'm confident to say that all the water we've had in the car was purely caused by negligence. Well, I'm not going to say of who because they might sue me. Windows or doors left open. Potentially even the previous owner, who knows. So now here you can see this washer is more or less new. So we'll keep it as it is. We'll leave it aside for now. Allow the oil to drain. And we might as well loosen the oil filter cap. In order to drain the oil filter, you can use the same tray actually. It's just a 27mm socket that goes onto this plastic. Oh no, don't fall. Put it there. It's a 27mm socket to go onto the plastic housing of the oil filter. Now again, I think it does say on the housing, this should be tightened to 25 Newton meters, which I think was tightened up to the spec in our circumstances here. I might need some single-use gloves here though. Where's the single-use gloves gone? Here. It might be quite a bit of oil in here too. There's no drain plug on the filter housing. Oh, there it is, pouring slowly. Oh, it's lovely and warm. Oh, is that it? Yeah, once again, this 100% does not look bad at all. Given it has done quite a few miles, to be fair. Actually, I can't remember how many miles. I should attach a screenshot on of the service book. Now, as usual, I wasn't prepared for this job, as I've got nowhere to put the housing for this filter. Oh, there it is. There's the old one. Brilliant. Now I need to somehow evade from here. Now, as for the prep fitting the new oil filter, we've got this one. Now, the housing has this O-ring here, which we will replace. Okay, out with the old, in with the new, and we need to rub a bit of oil on it, as this is the general rule. Luckily, this housing does have enough oil on it already. Now, the housing looks nice and clear too. There was no muck, there was no chocolate in there either. So I think this filter is ready to go back on. This is what our new oil filter looks like. Now, okay, now moving over to the oil filter. Just have to insert it in its gap here. Brilliant. And now tighten this by hand. The O-ring is on. Greased it up with a bit of oil already. Now we need to tighten it to a torque of 25 Newton meters using our torque wrench. Has this even got? That's about it. Oops. There we go. That will do. That was tighter than I would have thought. Okay. And I couldn't find any torque for the actual sump plug, but I will estimate around 40. That's what we usually do on our cars. Let me quickly give the sump plug a bit of brake cleaner. Make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, let's find an adapter. Is that 40 Newton? Yeah, that's 40 Newton meters. That will do. And now let's check this. And now let's give this used oil another look whilst it's out. I will attach another picture on the screen for you to see what oil mixed with water is, and to see what normal used engine oil is like. Now it's time to top up this engine oil inside our new engine. So this is a 5-litre bottle, and we need roughly, okay, how is this measured? This is 5 litre. 4, 3, 2, 1. We can go down to about 1, and then we can stop. Even less than 1, actually. There's always leftover oil, but I have a good feeling that I will be making a mess. So there we are. Another trick with topping up your engine oil is do not. Let me see if I can show you. When pouring your engine, never pour it this way. Try and hold the bottle. Flat. Try and hold the bottle flat, and then you won't get the engine is flowing nice and smooth. If you were to hold it this way, ignore me. It's working fine either way with this one. Alright, bit of a top up, new oil, give it a check. Down to 3, down to 2.5. 4.1 litre is what we're after in this engine. Quite a bit of oil for such a tiny engine, just a 0.9. A bit more. 2, 3. It's got an interesting red color, this oil. So we're down to 3.5 litres. Let's do a dip check now. In my experience, I have learned many times that, particularly with my car, that sometimes these recommendations do not always work. So I put 3.5 litres, and we are bang on in the middle. So we can add a bit more. The car sits nice and level on the axle stands, so I'll add a tiny little bit more. I could have put some oil in the oil filter too, but it won't matter. Am I going to make a mess without? It won't matter because the engine has been run previously, so there's plenty of oil, the parts that need it. Okay, come on, here we are. Do another check. It's all splashed. Try again. There we go. If you can see it, it's perfect. Now, after the car sits in rest for a bit longer, we will be getting a bit more oil collecting in there. But usually when topping up your new engine oil, it's good to pour a litre less than what the manufacturer recommends to start with, and then go from there. I have had to drain extra oil before from an engine, so yeah, extra work for you. Now, given this is a petrol car, we've only got an air filter and a cabin filter to replace. This being the air filter. So in there, you can see there's quite a few leaves. So we'll try our best to clean those if we can. Would it be easy to just remove this box out of here? No, it won't. I need to get my air compressor out with the old, in with the new. I mean, I've been using that make too. And let me tell you, it's a bit cheaper than Bosch's. Just saying. Okay, that's the air filter done. All we've got left to do now is the Poland filter, which, if I've seen it right on my researches, somewhere here. Yeah. Right, so on my quest to change the cabin filter, so look at here on the passenger's side. This I've checked numerous videos on YouTube. This here is a sealed unit, and trust me, it looks identical on the other side. So I can't see how to change the cabin filter in this car. It's really, really odd. There's nothing here in the glove box either, or underneath it. That's a bloody ECU or something. There's nothing else underneath here. There's nothing. So I just don't understand. Well, I'm gonna leave it off for now. I'm gonna leave it in the car. Yeah, it's just crazy. Let me quickly show you on the other side as well. So here, that bit there it's a proper sealed unit. There's no screws, there's no bolts to loosen it or anything. There's nothing I can stick in there, is it? No. It's a proper sealed unit. There's no way that lid looking like plastic would come out. So yeah, I have tried, I just don't get it. So let's quickly check our oil level again, make sure it's where it should be, and then we can start the car and check for any leaks. Yeah, that looks about right to me. Let's start the car now. Make sure it's in neutral. Just noticed this car has actually got Bluetooth that it can use. The only damage I've noticed on the interior is the airbag lid. It's got a crack here, and then obviously quite a lot of wear, but that doesn't bother me. I hope you can hear me at this stage. The engine is running very smooth, very sweet, but I can hear a squeak which comes from the alternator belt. See, the revs are already slowing down. Oh yeah, let's check for any leaks. Run out of brake cleaner, so just gonna use this wipe, because we do have a bit of a dribble there. Just give this a wipe, should be alright. Yeah, I think we can now put the under tray back on, and to simply say that this is how you partially service the Dacia Sandero Stepway 13 Reg, because I was unable to locate the pollen filter. But if I were to, following further research, if I were to actually find where that bloody thing is, I'll come back with an update. So until next time, you take care. 85075. Today's date is 17th of March 25. Service. Comments? Done.